Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I contribute to the debate, I would wish to bring to your attention that catching the Speaker's eye has become a serious challenge for members of Parliament. We have to do so electronically, but at times you will meet that the challenges keep on going and those who are on top are least considered. This is just for your attention.
Honorable member, you are completely out of order. You are out of order totally.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But honestly, it is in our rules. Mr. Speaker, in contributing to the motion, I really agree with the intent and purpose of the amendment by my colleague. The motorcycle sector is of immense importance to this economy, but it has not been regulated, not because there are no laws sufficient enough to do the regulation, but I believe that is an oversight on the part of the agencies concerned. The NTCA Act being amended, sought to be amended 43 of 2022, Mr. Speaker, must be read with the Traffic Act. Indeed, the motorcycle, whether it is 3-cycle or 2-cycle, is a motor vehicle. That means it comes under the purview of the Traffic Act, and it is so defined very well. It is mechanically propelled vehicle. So it should be well understood that when we are seeking this amendment, it is read alongside other statutes that are in existence, and we only improve on what exists than bringing conflicts between different statutes. However, the motorcycle sector has been growing immensely. It has provided jobs, employment, swift transports, more so in unmotorable roads, Mr. Speaker. However, it has had serious challenges. There was lack of training, there is lack of licensing and regulation on the part of NTSA. For me, there is no lacuna in law. It is sleeping on the job on the part of NTSA. Why we always drag in the police for corruption? It is because they are not licensed, they don't seek training, they don't follow the laid down procedures, Mr. Speaker. From where I come from, it only goes for a camel to acquire a motorcycle. And you are on the road the next hour, immaterial of whether there is a police officer. They don't know because of the illiteracy rate. They don't know that there are regulations that one has to conform to. So it is an issue of really an outreach than our limitations on the part of our legislations, Mr. Speaker. This must be well understood. They are numerous. I really agree with actually the intention of the mover to regulate this sector, but it is an issue of implementation, enforcement, than coming up with enforcements as such. Motorcycles have been defined actually to an extent that a motorcycle is a public service vehicle. If you look at the definitions that precede the Traffic Act, it is not a matatu, it is not a motor car, it is a motorcycle, yet a motor vehicle, and yet can carry passenger, but to a limit. This should be very clear in the minds of, before we contribute. However, Mr. Speaker, I think what we need is coordination. The fact that the mover has alluded...
You are carrying your hands up. Okay, go ahead. One important aspect the mover has alluded to, the fact that we must have coordination between county governments and NTSA on the part of the national government, will create more chaos to an already chaotic sector, Mr. Speaker, in my view. We should have one national inventory, one national system to supervise, regulate, license this sector, in my view. I can't see why Wajir should have a different plate for its motorcycles, different from Kiambu. Of late, the motorcycles, as much as they are important to the economy,
They have also been serious contributors to crime in this nation. They are being used to traffic human beings, mostly aliens. They are being used to traffic drugs from Ethiopia. They are being used to traffic weapons, arms that are being used in the cattle rustling, more so in the North Rift and the Isiolo regions. They are a menace for sure, a nuisance. That doesn't mean that we are deficient of laws. All we need, do we really enforce our laws as we pass in this House? With those few clarifications, mine is to say that the sector is very important, yet laden with a lot of risks. The risk of owning a motorcycle, the risks that they contribute to the crime in this country. In Wajir North, where I represent, Mr. Speaker, it is on the Ethiopian border. Motorcycles are used to bring in cannabis sativas up to Nairobi, using unmotorable roads. They are used to bring aliens to the city of Nairobi. Motorcycles are used to transport guns that are being used in cattle rustling in Rift Valley. Actually, the government should invest on our borders. On our borders, if we are to maintain cattle rustling in North Rift, because we are the ones, these motorcycles are the ones that provide the weapons that are being used to kill, maim, break bones, and actually kill people in North Rift. Yes, I do appreciate the sector is important. I don't stand and agitate for its abolishment. However, it requires stringent, thorough, tough regulations. And the regulations do exist. It is just calling upon the NTSA to do its part. It's like they are sleeping on the job. They are not doing their work. The laws are there. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the intent and purpose of the amendment, but I could kindly seek your guidance to make sure that it is read with existing laws before we make amendments. Thank you.
Well said, Honorable Sane. This chance goes to the member for Runyenjes.